Okay, today we are installing a full non-tilting windshield on the Maverick MX3. This basically will fit any of the models, whether you have this additional roll bar protection or not. So if you have the additional roll bar protection, you'll have some extra slots. We don't currently have a windshield for the one with the non-bars, but we'll have it. Basically, the install will be the exact same, other than these slots that go across here that secure the windshield to these two slots right here. Is basically all that's going to be different on either one of them. Oh yeah, and the little notch outs down here in the bottom will be different. But other than that, they're basically the exact same thing. Very, very little difference in them. The windshield will come to you similar to this. It will have a protective coating already on it. There's a coating on both sides of it. Before you remove that protective coating, make sure you put it in place, make sure you like it, make sure everything's good with it. If there's a return or anything that's needed, that protective coating must be in place for return. So make sure everything works. We've been taking some photographs and such with these, so this is kind of like an after the fact kind of a thing. So the first thing you're going to want to start with, and again, since I've taken this already all apart, I hate to retake things apart that I've already taken apart, and I also want to be as careful with everyone's bike as possible. So you'll use a T20 wrench. It's the starred wrench to loosen this bolt right here. Okay, so this is the bracket that comes in there, and obviously it's got a really tight bend to it. So sometimes when you go to stick this little bolt through here, it's going to want to kind of stick a little bit. Just kind of thread it through. Once you thread it through a little bit, it'll drop into place and work just fine. So just kind of, if you need to, as it comes down in there, it kind of gets a little tight right in that spot, and you can just kind of thread that out, thread it down into there. Just a couple threads, it pops it right through. So that's what we want to do to begin with. We're going to put our bracket with the bolt back in that spot. Don't tighten them down, leave them kind of loose. Just get them kind of finger tight down. You want a little bit of movement so that you can put your bolt nut and lock washer onto there. Once you have that all set, then go ahead and tighten it up, obviously. But we want to allow for that small amount of movement, because if you get it locked in the wrong place, then all of a sudden the windshield doesn't install properly. Now, once we have that done, oh yeah, and these two little bumpers that are right across here, they're going to be in your package. They will not be placed on the windshield. Basically, it will be, because if you don't have this roll bar, you won't need them. If you don't have this additional cross member here, you won't need them. And placement is really kind of where you could even, like, what I would probably do if it was mine personally is that I would probably wait and see if it was hitting anywhere and find the spot where it might be tapping, put those on there. I put them as a precaution, because my guess would be, just at the high velocities in which this runs, we want to reduce or eliminate all chattering that might be going on. So now we're going to go to install this. Obviously, no matter, and I'm going to need somebody to help, so Brandon's going to help me here. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to really just kind of slide this up underneath this roll bar, and we're going to slide that down, and that just drops down right into that pocket just like that. So that's basically all there is to that. Now, what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with these little guys right here. You can start with the side brackets, you can start with these guys. Oh yeah, and how do you get them underneath that crossbar? Put it on your finger like that, slide your finger underneath the crossbar, put it up onto the bolt, and you'll need your screwdriver. Since we're moving over here, I'm just going to go ahead and put this one on. And since I've dropped this thing so many times, and just tell you where it's going to go to. It's going to go right down that corner right there. It's going to slide right down the dash. It will, the bolt, if you drop it, every freaking time it will land right there, which is a pretty awesome little thing. Okay, I'm not going to secure those up. I'm just going to put them in there loosely like that while we're at it. Going to go ahead, put this first clamp on here. Not going to worry about securing that really either. I'm just finger tightening everything right now, getting it set. If you get too carried away with tightening down things before you actually have it all in set, it makes this installation so much more difficult. So, just because it'll... Thanks. Okay, so with that, now once we have that, we just want to make sure we're sliding that down as tight as we can to the body. We're going to go ahead and secure that guy. Secure that side down to the body. Tighten that down. Now we can go along and tighten up these guys. Untie it. Lock that down, and I'll go over there and do that other side. But then our next step is that we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 straps that are on this. The first strap is going to go through this slot right here. Now again, if you have this additional cross member, you'll have this bottom strap. If you don't have this cross member, we will actually have a bracket that goes across, another one of these brackets. But due to the way this is all set up here, there's no way to get a nice bracket down there at the bottom, and it's essential for us to get that nice and tight. So put the strap on there, smooth side facing you, clip to the front, pull it as tight as you can, wrap it around this back side. We're gonna basically go around and do that on every single one of these. So that one's got to go through here, and through there. Pull the clip kind of tight to the windshield so that you get plenty of space to spin that around and tighten that up nice and tight. Actually didn't get that as tight to the windshield as I'd like, because the tighter you get it to the windshield, then you've actually got a full connection. Okay. Get the best connection there. Put the strap across here at the top. Again, it's always smooth side facing you. So if you were sitting inside the vehicle, or if you were doing this from inside the vehicle, the smooth side would be facing the back, right? So it's always smooth side facing you. I don't know if I said this to begin with, but obviously you need to pop the roof back to put this guy on. I think that's relatively evident, but this would be dang near impossible with the roof on. But once this is on, The roof just pardon me, fits right back over the top, so absolutely no challenges in it that way. Okay, put our last clamp on. Okay, so we're done with installation. Obviously, we go through and tighten all these up. I am just giving an example because I'm going to take this off and put on a whole nother windshield, so I'm not going through and cinching everything down Loctite. It is something you... Loctite, never use Loctite. Horrible product. But we want to tighten this all down, make sure everything's secured properly. Never use Loctite on your windshield, never ever use Windex on your windshield, never ever use paper towels. Those are the three most destructive products that you can find for plastics. Don't use them, it'll void all warranties and it will destroy your windshield. You'll have to buy another one, and that never makes anyone happy. So don't do that. Maintenance on this. Wash it off with water first. The most important thing that you can do with any windshield on the market is wash it off with water before you wipe it down with anything. Do not spray cleaners on a windshield and wipe off a dirty windshield with just cleaners. It will scratch it. You want to rinse that the dirt and the grimes off of it. It makes it so much easier to clean, so much better to clean. Wash it down real good. Dry it with a microfiber cloth. If you purchased a non-mar resistant windshield, especially if you have a full non-tilting windshield, I would be very, very, very careful in cleaning that windshield when I was out on the trail. If you have a non-mar resistant windshield, it's easier to clean them. They're not as susceptible to those kind of things, but I try to treat my mar and my non-mar the exact same. I used to have a non-mar, lasted me for years and years, sold it to the first person when I got done using that and made a new top. When I started the new top, I put the mar resistant on it, and I have the exact same tree scratch on both of them. You know, it's all about how you take care of them, is how they turn out. So wipe it off with, wash it off with water first, wipe it with a clean cloth. Novus One product we sell is phenomenal at anti-static, keeping the dust down, reducing the static electricity on the windshield. That'll help greatly. Sometimes you may have some additional components on here that due to different, you know, these mirrors kind of more the stock ones, but if you have after stock things, if you have additional things hooked to your roll bars, the bonus to Lexens is that you can cut out around those things. So if you get something like that, we did make a video on how to cut things out, so maybe check that out. You can feel free to give us a call. We'd be happy to guide you through it. The best thing to always use is a skill saw, or I actually think in cutting out little things like this, a jigsaw is the very easiest. One other thing that I did not mention is that I would want to do now is tighten down these bolts that I just finger tightened those bottom bolts down there. I would actually cinch those up real nice and tight right now because obviously that's a big part. We want that bracket nice and secured. So, but with that, that is basically the entire installation. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Thank you so much for your business. Have a great day.